Welcome, fellow travelers, to the Never Ending Adventure podcast, done remote for the very first time.
I'm scared.
I know.
I'm scared. Ned, hold me. Oh, you can't hold me. You're so far away.
I can touch you on the computer screen right here.
Yeah, hold on. Let's fist bump.
Oh,
fist bump. Oh,
boom,
yeah.
Right there.
There we go. Sweet. That's good visual gag for our audience. What's up, fellow travelers? My name's Russell Tyndall, as you know.
And I'm DJ Nettie P, as we all know.
Welcome to the Adventure Time podcast. We're both being a little quiet. I've got my roommates in the other room, so I'm certainly a little self-conscious that people are just listening to me talk on this microphone right now.
I don't know. Maybe I was just going to add a little sexy concept to it. Ooh.
Oh, they're going to think I'm so weird.
You're going to have to get your NPR voice going.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm in it now. We're talking about the real you.
Yeah, the real you. This is episode 15 of season 2. And honestly, man, this is we start to get into some concepts that are really the reason why I love this show. Multi-dimensional. Yeah, just the multi-dimensional concepts and stuff like that with when they open up the Tesseract, which is Finn's fourth dimensional bubble. Super gets into multiverse theory, which is just starting to not spoiler drop, just open up some doors that this is in the universe.
It's multi-dimensional. I don't. Is it multiverse? I don't think it's multiverse because all they were saying is that they were bringing in other dimensions within their single universe.
I think I was more along the lines of saying that this is a very, very high level concept. Kind of the reason why people love Rick and Morty is that they're bringing in insanely complex concepts to comprehend. Time travel and multi-dimensions and multi-dimensional objects. It's a hard concept to introduce into a kid's show that doesn't make sense. The easy way to explain it is, it just creates a black hole. But it's
I'm certainly intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm hoping we're not going to be time traveling too much. I mean, even Rick and Morty stays away from that. I think Rick has a box of time travel stuff that they don't touch in his garage. So
yeah, that is very true.
We'll see how this goes. But anyways, this was a really good episode. I really enjoyed this.
I know. When we got together last week, I know that we had already watched this one through and had thought about it. And you were like, dude, I'm so excited for this episode.
I know I was excited to be very dynamic. And right now I'm just a little subconscious.
No, don't be so. Come on, this is easier. Come on.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Maybe we'll get a shot of whiskey in you before the next one.
Oh my gosh, maybe that's a good idea. Well, we had a really great title card to kick off this episode too.
Yeah, it was
it felt very universal. It felt very much I don't know, just the way it was drawn. It just felt outer spacey.
It reminded me of if they made Finn into space dust and scattered him across the universe. That's what he would look like.
It's pretty dope. I like a lot of the title cards, but I gotta say this one stands out for sure. I think this whole episode stands out for me.
Yeah,
if I'm being entirely honest,
it's a great. There was a couple of things, and I'm nitpicking it. That was the science barbecue. What the heck is a science barbecue?
Have you never been to a science barbecue before?
Tell me about your first science barbecue.
Oh, my first science barbecue. It was 4th grade. I'm just kidding. I've never been to a science barbecue, but the sign, she had this terrible, terrible sign. I mean, she's so nervous about this being the best barbecue ever. And then she has this sign that is "Science is the best."
And in crude paint.
Yeah. I'm like, man, we know somebody, PB. Hit us up. We'll get you to a designer. I think Allie would be happy to help out.
Oh, come on. I feel like you might be throwing my lovely under the bus.
Give me some sugar, baby. Oh my gosh. Who's your lovely?
I think my lovely of this episode was Chet, the little candy person.
Yeah.
That was
He's over here getting bullied.
I want to do the grill. And then Peppermint Butler was bullying him around.
Better not say nothing, you.
I know.
Yeah,
maybe
it's so funny.
That's it. Maybe Chet, because he didn't get to do the grill, he did get to make the poster, make the Science Barbecue poster. Maybe that's Chet's work.
Man, some bad work. Some bad work if that's his work. I'll tell you
man.
What. Well, now I sound like Peppermint Butler. I'm just being the bully. I mean, honestly, I was ashamed because Peppermint Butler was my lovely in a previous episode. And meanwhile, he was just so bad here. He was so mean.
You see a little bit of the evil in him coming out, a little bit of the savageness. So
yeah, when you pry it from my cold dead hands, come on, dude.
Oh, I'm saving Peppermint Butler to be my lovely of when things get dark with another PB, but Peppermint Butler. I know.
Yeah, also PB. The PBs, man. Watch out for PBs if you got any PBs in your life.
Evil. Yeah, and secretly evil in this episode. Did you see her like weird, like hypno eyes when she was like, "Just do it for me"?
Oh yeah.
Finn.
Oh yeah, the cosmic, like kind of comet eyes. Yeah,
I know. I was like, are they just being flirty, or is she actually like got some hypno powers?
It's a little sexy. I mean, she might be my sexy character of the episode.
Really?
Yeah, Princess Bubblegum.
I thought you were so anti-PB that we wouldn't end up in sexiest characters with Princess Bubblegum.
I don't know. She's got a really cool rainicorn shirt. I'm watching this and I'm like, am I catching feelings? Like,
oh no,
am I getting into Princess Bubblegum? All of it? Like, I'm like, I understand. Like, I get it. Like, I understand what's going on in Finn's head.
Yeah, they do.
And I never wanted to.
They do over time, especially this one with her wearing a t-shirt. They do make her into like a normal person. You see, that she's got some battle scars, dude, of the past, and that she kind of has this desire at some points to be more normal than a princess of a candy kingdom that she created.
Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about it. I was like, there was a time period where I was like, shoot, maybe she's going to be my lovely. And I really didn't want that to be the case. And the fact that she's my freaking sexy character of the episode is kind of blowing my mind. I mean, I don't know, but
I'll give you that one.
Yeah, well, she sneezed on Finn's spit. Finn's spit.
On Finn's spit, that was
3 hours building a scale model of the Candy Kingdom out of saliva, and that is just gross. I don't know why that was a good gift in his mind.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 12, man, I guess. But Jake's point, it was like
that is no excuse.
Blowing those bubbles, he was making like a little kissy mouth, and doing that for 3 hours, probably imagining kissing Princess Bubblegum with a little kissy mouth. So Jake was kind of right. He's like, it's kind of like you're kissing her there, and he's like, "What? No!"
It took him 3 hours. That's crazy. And he's just like, just close your eyes and give me like 2 hours.
Oh man! But yes, I think also terrible gift. Like, how would you know that was the Candy Kingdom too if it's not made out of candy? I don't know.
Horrible. And she just loved it because it was pink. She's just like, oh, the dish is pink. I love it. It still had some of the spit on it though, like the spit, like. The dribbles off. Yeah. Oh, it's so gross.
At least she was. I don't even think she was being nice about it. I think she actually just likes pink stuff. So I think that was like an authentic response.
Well, she has his DNA now. Is something that I took note of.
Gosh.
I'm like, maybe that's what she wanted.
Yeah, I've got a clone Finn.
Maybe, dude. I don't know. Like, it might be a part of my theoretically speaking later on, which we can get to a little bit later. But
I'll be excited to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, man, what is Princess Bubblegum planning? Like, what's going through her mind right now?
Yeah, I know. Well, we get to the start of the problem of the episode is that Finn puts out the on fire grill.
He kills Flambeau. Finn kills Flambeau in this episode.
She used Flambeau to light
Flambeau's in the grill.
No, I think the coals are on fire. But
yeah, they are, but he's the fire on the coals, I swear.
I noticed Flambeau, but I really didn't think about, I guess, if Flambeau ever hopped out. So like he extinguished some kind of fire creature. Gosh darn. You're making me think about these things, man.
Dude, go back and rewatch it. We can all do this. I think I never saw Flambeau leave the flame. I think he just hopped in the grill, and next thing we know, Finn's using the meat like that they're going to barbecue with to extinguish the fire.
No,
like
that's not good.
I don't know, man. Well,
he might have killed a flame creature. Gee, so many Finn mistakes in this episode.
You don't think it's Flambeau? I guess we didn't hear him talk.
Well, Flambeau comes back, so I know Flambeau's not dead. Like, so if it was another creature from the Fire Kingdom, that's a possibility.
Oh, I like the idea of there being like multiple things that start the fire. I kind of, for some reason in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe Flambeau is like the original flame or something, like the never extinguishing flame. But, you know, again, that would kind of like dismantle my theory that Finn just killed him.
And we'll get there. We'll get there with more of how fire plays into the Adventure Time universe.
I love how it gives me like Howl's Moving Castle vibes whenever I see like little like life bearing flames, which I know that may not be a reference that you necessarily understand.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet. It's on my list. It's on my list for sure.
It's a dang good film. If only you were in Nashville for longer, we could watch it together because I got the box set right behind me in my bedroom.
We could do this whole same setup too. Maybe we can live commentary the whole movie.
Yeah, maybe that'll be maybe we'll do a Studio Ghibli film one day for our bonus episode.
That'd be kind
of fun. Or if we ever get a Patreon.
Yeah, I could swing that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways,
the Finn mistake. So apparently he kills a fire person,
maybe,
and then she's so hype that he's so heroic that she wants him to speak at the barbecue. It's like so funny. So weird.
She sees potential in the way his brain scientifically constructs an idea and goes after something. And I definitely understand that. I mean, it was a quick, aggressive kind of innate response to there's a fire, I need to put it out. But I don't know, man. I don't know if that justifies basically giving a TED talk at this science fair, that she's putting on Science Barbecue. But
more than anything, I think that she would want to research Finn and then herself actually talk about it.
Dive into his mind.
TED talk. Yeah, she's like, I've evaluated the mind of a hero, and I'm more scientific now. Not Finn, you're heroic. You speak about it. Like he should go do something heroic, which actually it does end up happening, kind of. So it's kind of a genius play on Finn's part,
Well, you got to go at that point. He's like, all right, how are we going to do this? And him and Jake are like, well, let's go to the place where science or where knowledge lives.
And then Finn says Braintown.
Braintown.
Well, I was like, I want to know where Braintown is.
Yeah, I know. We need to experience Braintown.
I know. It's like I don't think they ever bring that back into Adventure Time.
Do I need to look up Braintown on Urban Dictionary?
Oh gosh. No, I think I'm gonna look up right here. I'm gonna look up Braintown Adventure Time and just see if there's anything. No, it's just part of the transcript for this episode, which is kind of a bummer.
Man, I don't think Braintown's a thing even on Urban Dictionary, and that is really upsetting.
Yeah, maybe we had to create the definition, but
I think our fans are going to be upset about that. I'm not going to lie. That was a good one,
that, man. I thought we could come up with something, but
yes. Anyways,
where science lives is a library, and that's where we finally see. We have seen Turtle Princess in, the one Ice King.
Is that who that was?
The Nice King. Yeah, that was Turtle Princess.
Man, I was just disappointed because I thought she was the librarian, and I was
she is the librarian.
But aren't this is bad.
She's like she's Turtle Princess, and like the library is technically like her kingdom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's very
interesting.
Odd.
Are turtles supposed to be wise, or like what's up with that?
I don't know. She ends up being best friends with LSP down the road. So that's kind of a funny little dynamic duo. But you see that she's like the librarian, which in this case, a librarian at a library is like a princess to a kingdom.
Yeah, but why does that kind of fit? A librarian and LSP, a lumpy person. I feel like I kind of like that combination.
Yeah, it's a really fun combo when they get together and kind of they kind of have this like gossipy aspect too, which is really funny.
Oh, that would be good.
That's a really fun episode. And the cool thing is the library. I went back and watched this to see if we could get the shot of it, but it is like this abandoned old real library, and when you finally do and down the road get an overview shot of it, it's like half of a building like buried underneath the earth, and like just some of the tops of it are sticking out. So like the whole library is like underground, which is really cool.
That's straight up. That's an Avatar reference if I've ever heard one. For all of my Avatar, The Last Airbender fans,
like an underground library.
There's a big library. Dang, I would have looked up the name of this thing. I actually just watched this episode. Essentially, they're looking for a way to defeat the Fire Nation. And I don't want to spoil it too much because this is something that I think I would love to talk about on the podcast or on a Patreon with you at some point. But the library is in the middle of the desert. They can't find it. This guy who's been looking in the desert for forever. They have a flying Appa. They have a flying, I guess it's a air bison or something. And they can see the top of the temple to the library, and they go and check it out. And all of the library has been buried in the desert sand, except for the very top tip, which the knowledge foxes can enter through. It's fantastic. I don't think it's actually a legit direct reference, but it certainly is a funny coincidence.
Yeah, that is a funny coincidence, especially how much we talk about Avatar on this show and how there's little similarities,
It's just,
I love it. I think that's
such
great
a good show. Yeah. And I think, honestly, our fans, just given the time period that this show came out, probably also love Avatar. I would just have to guess. But
yeah, I would assume at least there are some Avatar fans out there, a good handful.
Yeah. Dude, did you ever go to the library in college?
Yeah, that was where I pooped in college.
That was your poop spot?
Yeah, 6th floor library was my poop spot. So I think I studied.
Oh my gosh.
I studied a few times there, but mainly most of my time was spent pooping.
That was not as inconvenient as my poop spot. Mine was top of the Tate Center behind the big
down the hall.
It was upstairs, top floor of the Tate Center, and then in the very back corner behind where they do Wesley.
Yeah, that was. I actually had heard multiple people say that was their favorite for sure.
It was great, but the lights always go out on you, and you're just like, oh, I'm in the dark now, and I'm pooping. Man. Interesting, dude. I would go to the library a handful of times, but the main reason I went was we got on top of it in college one time because we knew someone who worked at the library. And I'm telling you, dude, you missed out. It is the best view in Athens. It's
awesome.
Amazing.
I got to get on top of Brumby one time, and that was pretty good. But I could see that the library would be better.
It's the tallest point in Athens. There's one other point that might be a touch taller, but it is the tallest point in that city.
That's dope. Yeah, that's really cool.
Or at least it was when we went there.
Yeah.
They're both reading. Well, sorry, didn't mean to make you jealous, but they're both reading books. And Jake is reading about figs.
And Finn is reading about pigs.
Yeah, and I actually have 3 fig facts for you.
All right, give me some fig facts, baby.
Yeah, so this is from easyscienceforkids.com, which, we love that. Figs are not really fruit, but flowers turned inside out.
Yeah.
What? That blows my mind.
That. It's kind of like what do you call them? Capers are like the same thing.
What are capers?
Like capers are like the little things that you put on like lox bagels, little salty balls. They're they're like kind of like a flower bud, like that same type of thing. Cool. But so that's a fig is the same way. That's cool.
Dried figs are dates.
I did know that. I did know that for sure.
I had no clue. And this is the one that really blew my mind. During their development, figs will usually trap a wasp inside the fruit. Enzymes break down the wasp so you never see it.
That's wild.
There are there are a ton of specific fig wasps out there that die from figs.
That's so crazy.
I know you doubt me right now, but
no, I'm no way doubting you at all. That's actually
Easy Science for Kids says so. I believe it.
Well, here we go. Well, because you got me all inspired, maybe I should throw 3 pig facts at you.
Oh, no. I was going to do that later.
Oh, no. Wait, were you really?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, I got it. I don't know if they're going to be as good, but pigs can't sweat,
Ned.
Obviously. That's why they roll around in the mud. Pigs have an excellent sense of direction. Pigs are navigators. They can find their way home over large distances and often trot long distances and reach up to 11 miles per hour. And then
you're ruining our outro. This was my outro.
No. The pigs dream and like to sleep nose to nose.
Yep, there you go. When they nurse, did you know that pigs' mothers sing to their young? And also the largest pig, even though they're normally 300 to 700 pounds, the largest pig on record was from Tennessee, Big Bill, at 2,552 pounds.
That's incredible.
Oh, man. Well, that was a fun little non-tangent tangent.
Yeah, we don't tangent on this podcast at all.
Not a chance.
So we to get back on track here, we leave the library after Finn and Jake have a fun little squinty, fun board song. We go to academia.
Oh, yeah, man. It's just a rotten apple.
It's just a rotten apple with a bunch
Worm
of college worms.
We go to the worm college, man. It can't have been there that long. If it's just a rotten apple, it's a massive apple.
Yeah.
But how long does it take for an apple to rot? Do they just look for a new apple every time they want to have a class?
I was wondering. I don't know. Or that's just a new apple every semester. Maybe it's like a semester-long apple.
Well, we have the question on everybody's mind from this episode, Ned.
Oh, gosh.
Nietzsche's Ubermensch or Mandroid? Who you got?
I have got the werewolf queen.
All right. Well, you're just like the professor then, huh? The werewolf queen.
Now, if werewolf queen had to be taken out of the picture, I go with the Mandroid because I actually did some research onto what an Ubermensch was.
Oh, I did too.
So, So Nietzsche's Ubermensch is essentially more of a concept of a quote unquote Superman. But in this sense, it's not a Superman that is flying and indestructible and all that stuff. It's a man that has a goal for humanity itself and basically denies anything otherworldly in their beliefs. So like Christian values, religion, or anything. And that Nietzsche's whole concept was that this would be the highest level a man could get if he rejected all sense of like a lack of spirituality or anything that exists outside of the physical world we live in. I thought that was interesting.
I kind of dig it in a way, I mean, obviously, my beliefs are not necessarily that, but I certainly dig the idea, like a goal for humanity to set for itself. My issue with it is it was used by people that we don't love, such as Hitler.
Yeah.
Used it as, like an inspiration for the German people. And gotta say, I hate that.
Yeah.
So
that's why. And then the Mandroid, I did as much. What did you get for the Mandroid? Because I didn't find anything besides a reference from a 1993 movie.
It was just a movie from the 90s. Yeah. It's just he's a humanoid.
I know.
I think that's all it is, man. I really think that's all it is. It's just a humanoid from the 90s.
Yeah. So in this case, I give it to the Mandroid.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the whole, the last part of that, which sucked. But
the opposite of existentialism.
I mean, if he's basically Superman, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
or beyond,
maybe man. The concept that they were trying to say would be like Ubermensch as in Superman versus Mandroid, and then I'd give it to Superman at that point.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, anyways, another conversation.
Yeah, well, the academia is where my Jake mistake comes into this episode.
Making big pancakes.
Yeah, well, is it just when he shrinks himself? Is that why?
Well, he shrinks himself to get inside, but he still keeps his hand the normal size to have the little like worm finger.
I'm gonna say no. I don't know what this term will be when I'm saying that's not a mistake. I'm putting my fist down, taking the gauntlet gloves off, and I'm just saying it was amazing. It was hilarious. I love it.
I got it.
No mistake was made.
No mistake was made. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it was just so great. He just shrinks down, and then his hand's bigger than he is, and yet his hand is worm size. I mean, what can you not like about that?
I know. It was likable, but obviously, if there was any Jake mistake, because he actually really didn't play a huge role in this episode.
Oh, dude, he played a massive role. He saved everybody from a black hole. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, and then on the end of the episode, he ends up just lying like a carpet on the ground while everybody else is just standing on top of him.
Like, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, when they unravel at the end of the episode, it's just Jake like laying on the ground, like not moving.
Oh,
it's so funny. I took me till watching it the last time, and I noticed I was like, Jake's just like chilling right there.
That's so funny. Well, dude, even the McSquirmy, Warmy McSquirmy, McSquirmy, that part was so funny too.
I know.
The truancy hurts us all, McSquirmy.
Truancy hurts us all, McSquirmy.
Kill him. Let's kill him. I mean, just so aggressively dramatic. The
worms were like super. They literally like. He didn't show up to class, so they decided they're going to try to kill him. Like,
yeah, one of them takes a ruler and goes, "Excelsior."
they're like super into education.
Yeah.
They're going to kill him if he friggin' doesn't show up to class. But that's that. But you know, what do we say? I think we ought to save the Glasses of Nerdicon for after we take a little breather here.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Let's do it.
See you in a minute.
Imagine a place where you could reach your full wormy potential, where you surround yourself with inspiring worms that want to change the world, where a wealth of knowledge and squirminess awaits you. Welcome to academia, where dreams take flight and worms become knowledge warriors.
You only live for 8 years at most, so get smart at academia. Welcome back. What is up?
Welcome back, man. It's hard introing off of the remote setup. It's a little bit, it's a little bit odd. Feels funny.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just gotta flex this muscle a little bit.
I'm so glad we're not worms, though. Looking up how long they live for. I mean, there are worse things you could be. It is kind of crazy, though. Worms live to be about as old. I mean, 8 years is like, probably the average lifespan of like a very, very large dog.
Yeah.
Like,
that's interesting.
It's hard to make you sad if you own a Great Dane, but, I don't know. Anyways,
you can have
I'm
a
sorry.
pet worm that lives
up.
a long time, But let's get out of academia. Let's get booted out of there. We're moving over to Choose Goose, where magic is the option. And did you notice? I was like, it's the easy way out. And Fann's like, well, that's like, I don't want to do it. And he's like, but it's the easy way. And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, dude, y'all just ripped on magic wands last week, and now you're like, let's take the magic option.
Well, wands are for wimps,
wands are for wimps.
Magic, I guess, is cool if you can cheat. Fine. Just like in school, man. If you can find a way to cheat, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of the concept here, but it's so
it is certainly boring. The library is certainly a boring place.
We continue on our kind of multi-episode trend that I've been noticing of Finn either being deceitful or taking shortcuts. And kind of it's been a lot of episodes this season have been Finn kind of like either deceiving somebody and like lying, which is kind of what the glasses are, or, like taking the easy route here.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder, it's got to be intentional, right? Are we just in a really weird, like angsty phase of Finn where he's 13 years old and he's kind of coming of age and getting a little lazy?
Yeah, I do think it's not necessarily like laziness, but it's his growing morality. I think you really do see in later seasons that he ends up being more conflicted in situations, like kind of the honest versus not, what's right and what's wrong. And kind of right now, the lines are a little bit blurred when it comes to gray area stuff. He's all about being a hero and all about defeating evil, but as soon as it becomes gray area driven, he is still very like on the fence. Like, do I take the easy way out? Do I cheat? Do I spy on Ice King? Do I not spy on Ice King? And so like I think it is maybe kind of a coming of age like proposition that he is like taking the easy way out, being deceitful, lying, and that just never works for him.
Wow. Dang, dude, that's some deep thought on this episode. I hadn't even really occurred to me that it has been a trend, and it really has been a trend over the past couple of episodes. But
yeah. Well,
cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep looking for that.
I'm digging deep, y'all. Obviously, we're like almost 50 episodes in, and there's no reason to just review the show. We got to talk about life and growth, man. Like we're growing up, dude. Just like Finn.
Finn's growing up right in front of our eyes.
I know. Well,
what
did you think
in
about
this episode, man? He got a kiss.
He got a kiss, and he like PB. Died. He like passed out.
He did. He did. Yeah. Well, man, what is it with Choose Goose, dude? What is his whole thing? He just happens to have the exact item that they need, and it's like the only item he has.
I love it. I think that's maybe why Choose Goose is an underrated OP character in the universe. He always has exactly what you need, or almost exactly what you need.
What is there? Is that just part of his character? Is there something behind that? Do you know? Is he magical himself? He must be.
I wish, and maybe that would be my theoretically speaking of this episode.
Theoretically speaking,
is that Choose Goose is secretly OP, and that he's some sort of wizard, kind of like the Room of Requirement in Harry Potter, where it only shows up to those who need them the most. and that Choose Goose shows up with the items that you need the most, just like the room of requirement. That's my theoretically speaking.
Dude, I love that. Man, that's awesome. I don't, Choose Goose bothers me because I'm like, why is he so willing to give away what may be the strongest, best item we've seen in all of Adventure Time so far?
Because he just wants to be entertained. And let's talk about my tops of the episode was Finn's little really? Like that was I just thought that was so scatting. Funny. And his little finger worm still drawn on. I loved that, man.
Yeah, he does some scatting with his finger. I definitely didn't have that as my tops, but that's pretty great. It just wasn't a fair trade at all, though. I mean, he's giving away the Glasses of Nerdicon, which basically give Finn the powers of going limitless.
And the last time they had to pay a price to choose Goose, he wanted Jake. He wanted Jake to be beheaded. Remember?
Yeah, this is so much better. He just needed to be entertained.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. I mean, and then I don't know. Finn just has this crazy moment where he's just like, everything small is just a small version of something big. Like he starts like from the get-go, he's kind of like bordering crazy.
Oh, mean, I think he's full on crazy at the start. He's got tears in his eyes. And that zoom sequence, actually, it was really cool though. So one part about that zoom sequence is when it zooms back on the Earth. If you go back and pause it, it is the first time in the show that they have shown an outside image of Earth, and it has the huge chunk crater taken out of it.
Oh, I gotta go back and check that out.
Oh, yeah. It's like the first time that any, like, we've said we are pretty sure this is post-apocalyptic, but like it's the first time they've shown that image of the Earth, of that there's just a massive chunk out of the side of it.
Can you tell if it's actually Earth? Like, are the continents there?
I'm actually not sure. I don't think so, but it's like I think it's understood.
Okay. I'm definitely, after we record this, going back and checking it out because that is so fascinating.
Oh, yeah. And then also another cool thing about that was like, I think it was taken, the Zoom scene was inspired by a 1968 documentary short film called The Powers of 10, which demonstrates the relative scale of objects in the universe. And so, I'm sure that Adventure Time wasn't the first to do kind of a zoom sequence like that. So that was I think it was like saying first done in that Powers of 10, where it was like the zoom out and everything gets smaller and smaller.
At this point, it's a little tropey. Like, I mean, it feels like a very classic, like the beginning of a TV show or like a sci-fi show or movie or something like that. They're zooming through things or...
Yeah, but it was a cool visualization of like the concept is our universe in general just an atom in the world of a different universe.
Yeah. In Finn's words, spit bubbles were as fragile as his old perception of reality. Oh,
what a great line. Best line.
Dude, I loved, both of those lines. The one where everything small is just a small version of everything big. And then that other one are both fantastic little quotes.
Yeah. Pretty much a lot of stuff that he spits out when he's in his psychotic smart mode is pretty deep and pretty like insane, insane and really well thought out and portrayed by the writers of the show.
It's funny because he is very like book smart in those sequences, but he doesn't seem to be very rational at the same time, even though he does kind of Light Yagami plan out how everything's going to happen on the bulleted list that he has.
And that's why I was kind of like, his whole plan was to do that, even when he was so smart. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, smart people, like overly smart people, can be assholes. And it's because they either think they understand more about the world and life and the meaning of life than people who are quote unquote dumber than them. And so they become assholes and like, don't care if people die, which kind of happens at the end,
Well, it happens with Finn. I mean, he's like, what is his quote right at the end there? He's yelling.
I don't have the quote, but he's yelling about all the chemicals that your brain
all born to
releases.
die.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of that was so crazy to me because it was like he's referring to like the body's method of handling near-death experiences, and like particularly the brain produces DMT when you're faced like in a near-death experience, and then that's kind of like the DMT. It's like you're chasing a high, and then if that's like as good as life gets at that moment before you die, the whole concept that we're born to die, because like that's almost like that's the most like euphoric your brain will ever be.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan
know,
would be
man.
proud of me, right?
I think he would be. But certainly, I guess he feels like the reason for doing that is because he wanted to give PB the ultimate science barbecue, and if everybody in the crowd experiences that sort of a euphoric high, then clearly it was the ultimate barbecue that they've ever had and that they're ever going to have,
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, that's better than my theory too.
I just don't understand how the ultimate bubble, like when you can be that smart and you go back to your original idea, which is I'm going to make bubbles. Like, there's got to be something better, dude. I don't know.
I know. Well, he was thinking about bubble. He must have just, I don't know, been like on that one-track mind. But then, the genius of it all, and I thought this was kind of so funny about Finn's adolescent state, that even when he knew everything in the entire universe, his super, super smart plan was just still, I'm going to impress the princess.
Yeah,
and that was still
at the end of it.
Yeah, that was like the root of why he was doing what he was. It wasn't to even show, some concept that was great or be scientific. It was just to impress the princess. And I was like, that is such a great 12-year-old. Like if a 12-year-old was the smartest person in the world, they would probably do super smart, crazy things in order to I don't know, get the most candy or
get the best Lego set or whatever.
And
that's amazing,
be on that one track mind,
Well, let's go into my theoretically speaking. So PB has the glasses now. As far as we know, he has the glasses on, and he mentions that. I can't remember what the quote is exactly, but essentially he's like, this is all because of their glasses. And Princess Bubblegum is smart enough to know you got to take them off. That's the only way we're going to be able to solve this. She takes her glasses off of them, and then the glasses disappear. So in my mind, I think she has the glasses after this episode.
Yeah, good call out there.
Well, when Finn is wearing them, he has that limitless intelligence, but he did go a little crazy. PB will be using them in my mind for her own personal desires. However, knowing the show, they'll probably never come back up again, and it probably won't matter.
I hope that in PB fashion, what she would do is she would probably see how they made Finn go insane, and then a PB in a lot of future episodes tries to reverse engineer things and explain. She tries to do a lot of magic explaining with science. So I would imagine that more than anything, not that she's using them because she saw how insane Finn got, but that she is going to try to reverse engineer this source of knowledge, or what makes them a source of knowledge. And that would be my, good addition, because that's a great, theoretically speaking, though, is that she's still,
maybe she just keeps using them occasionally, but she has figured out a way to, like you said, either take away that thing where it makes you go crazy, and also makes you kind of enable. Remember, in
Rick and Morty, when they can remove the curses from the devil's items.
Well, no, that's not what I was thinking of. But yes, I do recall. I do recall that. I was thinking of the Nutty Professor, I think is what it is, when he keeps taking that serum to make himself better looking and the better person that he wants to be or whatever. But actually, eventually it's like an addiction. He can't do it anymore. Finn can't take the glasses off himself. He needs someone else to take the glasses away from him.
Yeah, and then Princess Bubblegum has Peppermint Butler. So if you're right. If she did want to put them on and then be like, as soon as I start getting crazy, Peppermint Butler, you rip them off my face. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, or even a better reference would be the Venom with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's the same sort of a concept where the suit starts to take over, and you're just, I don't know. We're probably off on another planet now, and totally irrelevant.
All of those are relevant tangents with the glasses, because like you mentioned, I didn't even think about the glasses still exist, and I don't know. I don't think nobody's giving them back to Choose Goose. I know that.
Yeah, and what was Choose Goose going to do with them anyways?
I don't know. Maybe that's why Choose Goose is all left up in the mind, is he wore the glasses for too long.
Yeah, maybe.
He's fried his brain out.
I like that. Oh my gosh.
Man. Another fun thing I hope that you caught in this one was that when Dr. Dextrose was up on the stage, did you see the little pink like science, what do you call it? Like smart people parasite that we talked about the other week.
No, was it on Dr. Dexterous?
Yeah, he had one in his pocket, man.
Oh, well, he's my lovely.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, it's great, lovely, man.
Well, he's researching the future of cuteness, and what is better than that? I mean, come on.
And he's a little marshmallow man.
He is a marshmallow man with great hair. And he's just, someone out there in our world, their job is making like toys and shows for kids. Freaking Penn Ward,
and researching what's cute
and what kids are into, and like looking at trends, and freaking Dr. Dexterous. That's his thing. That's his jam.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be hard to say something is for the better of humanity than like just trying to look at what's cute. Though you can use it to manipulate and for profit, so maybe not. But I don't know. I like it. I hate
an area of research though that is probably scientifically valid. Serotonin in your brain releases when you see something, like a cute dog or a cute baby.
Yeah, and then freaking Finn goes and belittles his work,
I know.
What quaint notions.
Finn the asshole.
Well, he had the glasses on. It's just like the Nutty Professor, like he's kind of a jerk when he's taking the serum,
Mm-hmm. That's very true. But no, great lovely though, man. I might have to take mine back, but I don't know. I think Chet was cool too.
Chet was cool. Chet's a little bland for me.
Just a little bland, man.
But he was in was he in the very first episode? I'm pretty sure he was in Slumber Party Panic as well.
He was either in that one or, oh my gosh.
I think he was the one who was about to say, like he's about to recognize the zombies or whatever. And then Finn comes in and it's just like, close the doors, party or something like that. I don't know.
Call, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to pull Chet out unless we just went back and rewatched episode 1.
I think that's him. I could be wrong, but I think it's him. Well, dude, let's talk about the multidimensional bubbles because we can't end this without talking about those.
I know. I did at least like 20 to 30 minutes of YouTube videos and explanations on getting into fourth dimensional spaces. And it somewhat makes sense. I got a good grasp on technically a fourth dimensional object is like cast a shadow of a 3-dimensional object, meaning like I saw this like scientific explanation about it of like if you have a square has 4 points, and if you double the 4 points, you have two 2-dimensional squares, and you connect all those points and it makes a 3-dimensional object, and that has like 8 points and 2 objects. So if you do 16 points, it becomes this fourth dimensional, essentially 8 sides of cubes are the sides of that object. It's very weird, man. I tried my best, and now I probably sound way more stupid.
I'll take your word for it, Ned, because for me, I got to have this. I got to see it in front of me. I can't hear someone talk about something that complex and really understand it. I tried to even
look at it, and it's still hard to like comprehend.
Well, it's beyond comprehension, beyond space, beyond time. It's a black hole. I know you said earlier they dumb it down or whatever, or the concept down, but essentially he creates a black hole. And I just want to say, Jake has the ability to like hold everyone back from being sucked into a black hole, and he catches Finn, who is very close to the black hole when it is starting to consume things. That's pretty remarkable.
That is. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, he saves everybody, and at the end when there's an explosion, two black holes essentially hitting each other, like Jake wrapped up around everybody and protected everyone from the explosion, and also, I mean, it was a very small explosion for what was basically 2 black holes, but or whatever the concept would be. A fourth dimensional sword how's that any different than a fourth dimensional bubble?
Yeah, and it was like the collision of those 2 things.
Yeah. Which was kind of an incredible way. I mean, the sword is my tops. The fourth dimensional sword is definitely my tops for the episode.
Yeah, but goodbye to the gold sword,
Yeah, the sword's gone. It totally is gone. Yeah.
So that's a bit of a bummer because we just got really hype on the gold sword last week when it could block all of Zergiok's like magic fireballs,
It's a bummer, but I'm not worried about it. Like,
I know.
Finn will find another sword, I'm sure. But it was worth it because the highlight of this episode, and honestly, the coolest thing we see Finn do with his sword was destroy a black hole by jumping into it with another fourth dimensional object. And
I know, but technically,
it was cool. It was so cool.
It's in our universe, in our dimensions, it would be like the explosion of two black holes colliding, or whatever it's called. Technically, in the fourth dimensional space, it was a sword popping a bubble.
Yeah, I guess so.
A little less epic.
Oh man, is that how that works? I guess.
I mean, yeah, it was a fourth dimensional bubble, and
two
obviously,
fourth dimensional objects
that would create a black hole existing in this universe. But if you could create a fourth dimensional pointy object to pop that bubble, then that's really what happened.
Man, we need someone who knows anything about science. I mean, that makes sense to me, but I hate how logical that is. That can't be how that would work. Can someone please email us at the Traveler's Log, the NEA.travelerslog@gmail.com, and tell us what would actually happen if two fourth dimensional objects or things collided.
Well, if they were, if they were existing in fourth dimensional space, they would just interact, hypothetically speaking, as two.
But in our space,
objects in our space, that's a better question. I don't know if we can conceptualize because fourth dimensional objects in our space.
Well, that's the whole point of that.
Space open. Yeah,
that's the whole point of the bubble. It was beyond comprehension.
I don't know, man.
It was incredible.
I was so nervous to get on this topic because I was like, I have everything to say about it, and I have nothing to say about it at the same time.
I didn't even bother doing research into it because I was just like, I'm just going to sound dumb because you're never going to be able to. People spend their whole lives studying this kind of thing.
I know, we couldn't do 30 minutes of research for an Adventure Time review to knock it all out.
No, not at all, man. Well, that was really rad. I love that. And I was looking at my notes again, and Princess Bubblegum was straight up like, I need the real you. Like, that's what she said to Finn. Please, I need the real you. When she realized that it was the glasses, or maybe it was right before she realized what it was the glass. No, she realized it was the glasses, right? And then she was like, I need you, like, only
she
you,
says that
the hero.
Right before she rips the glasses off, yeah.
The hero of the Bubblegum Kingdom, or
of
what
Ooh,
is it? Of Ooh, yeah. Can
hero
save
of
us.
The Candy Kingdom, yeah.
Candy Kingdom. Jeez, I said Bubblegum Kingdom.
Bubblegum Kingdom.
Well, I love that. I thought that was really fascinating. I mean, obviously, it's the title of the episode, The Real You, but I thought it was really, really cool that she recognized that Finn, there's something about Finn that, the way his scientific mind works, I suppose.
Yeah, and that really was the original reason that she asked him to speak at the barbecue, was she did want the real Finn. She wanted his, the way his brain worked to stab a bunch of steaks and throw them on fire. And I don't know, there was something special that she saw in him there.
Well, back to my freaking theoretically speaking, man, she's got the glasses. She has the ability to have more knowledge than anyone else. She has Finn's DNA. She's going to make clone Finns. I mean, probably not, but I don't know.
Yeah, little danger there.
Yeah, well, we got what do you mean?
Danger that she might create clone Finns.
Does she actually do that?
No,
I didn't think so. Okay, well,
the only
we should probably clarify
there
when
is
I'm way
someone
off.
in the future that tries to create clone Finns, but it's not PB.
Oh, cool. Okay, maybe Ice King. He just wants more friends.
That's very true. He does try to make a lot of snowmen and stuff be his friends, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, well, at the end of the episode, everyone loved the explosion and Finn's presentation, and it wasn't ruined, as was the fears of PB. And then the last bullet is win the heart of the princess, and PB gives him a kiss on the cheek, and I hate her again.
And you hate, she just fully reeled him back in on that whole, like, let me just manipulate your little boy mind.
I know. I was about to turn around on PB this episode, and then just at the very end, she just goes and kisses him, and I'm just like,
I know.
You're the same.
Just be aware of what you're doing to this poor child, And Finn wises up later, where he takes a moment and he's like, hey, bro, like, we gotta create some distance between this little, like, flirty relationship because I can't handle it anymore.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
whenever that happens.
Man, right at I think it's end of season 3 or the end of season 4. I think it's end of season 3 if I'm not mistaken. But
cool.
Man, the last fun thing I had to say about this episode, and then we can I don't have any great lessons in this one. I've got one. But before that, this episode was originally going to be titled Born to Die, and then The Smartening, which I don't know if it's like a reference to The Shining or The Happening or something like, an old horror movie type thing. But I thought
Born to Die sounds like a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
I
know.
That's kind of cool.
It's either cool or really dark. If that's
that's fine.
The title of the episode was about Finn's concept of we're born to die. If that was what we focused on here, that'd be really dark.
I take that back because every James Bond movie is like, it's not my time to die another day. It's not actually, born to die. It'd be like,
unless that's the one where they kill off James Bond.
Yeah, born to die tomorrow.
Born to live. Born to not die, but live. Today, tomorrow.
Today, tomorrow. Yesterday. Born yesterday, die tomorrow. James Bond.
Born yesterday, die never.
Die never. Well, man, I'll go through my lessons then. I got a couple.
I couldn't get any good ones out of this, man.
Don't underestimate the real you.
I like it.
And don't count out luck. I mean, unfortunately, it plays a big part, but don't underestimate the real you. I think is really the big thing. Mm-hmm. And also at the same time, don't count it out, but don't count on luck,
Yeah.
So my first lesson's all over the place, I guess. The second lesson is glasses make you smart, and or at least people perceive you as smarter. I have a buddy back in Atlanta who probably listens to this podcast, and I wonder if he'll know I'm talking about him, but he straight up got like prescription glasses, but with no prescription. So like just straight up clear glasses just for the sake of fashion or wearing them to look smarter because maybe his significant other said he looked good in glasses. And I thought that was so funny. I don't know if he wears them much or not. I think they're like blue light. So like that's a good excuse, if you're saving your eyes from your computer.
Staring at the computer now.
But if you're wearing them out in public or on a date or something, and you don't need them, it seems
you look good though,
No, man, it's not fair, dude. People like me are blind and we have no choice but to wear glasses, and you're going to take the one thing we have going for us. Come on.
Nah.
Anyways, my third lesson is each species of fig has its own species of wasp, and that is freaking crazy to me. Whenever you're eating a fig, you're possibly eating a wasp that's just died, and the enzymes have decomposed it. Crazy, man. That's crazy. There's no way that's true.
So, but so cool, so great.
Yeah,
I don't know. Fig Newtons. When you're eating fig Newtons, you're eating little waspy
fig
Newtons.
Nuggets. Fig nuggets need to be a thing.
Fig nuggets. Man, my only lesson, because I couldn't think of anything serious, and then I'm like, dang it, you just took the good, deep one. That was the real you is valuable,
Yeah.
My little one was like, is the lesson here stupid is as stupid does? A little Forrest Gump.
Yeah, maybe so.
Like, maybe that was the lesson here. But the funny lesson, as stupid is as stupid does, is what Mama used to say. But that's all I got, man. And man, what a great episode, dude. Like, again, we're a little bit past the midway point in season 2, and we are getting to the meat. We're getting to the girth of what
Such
we're doing.
A good episode. Y'all go watch this one if you didn't see it. I feel like this one kind of touches a little bit on concepts that I find far more fascinating about Adventure Time than other episodes, like the pods or, whatever other episode. But this is just a good one. It's just all around a fun episode. I really enjoyed it, and I couldn't recommend it more, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite episode ever, but it's up there.
Yeah, I think it's up there for season 2 for sure.
Yeah,
but
well, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, how can all of these listeners give us a follow, give us some support?
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram, as y'all know, you can always hit us up at Never Ending Adventure Podcast, on TikTok at Never Ending Adventure Cast, at Twitter at NEA_podcast, and email us your thoughts, your opinions. If you have an MP3 of you talking about something,
even better.
Yeah, that could be cool. I don't know. If it's not good,
that'd be great. Yeah, unless you are saying inappropriate things.
Yeah. NEA.travelerslog@gmail.com. And then go check us out on YouTube. Go subscribe there, even if you don't listen there. And, watch our shorts or whatever and help get our name out. Just like tell your peeps about us. You can review us.
The word.
Apple Podcasts has the reviews that are important. And it would be very helpful for us if you would do that. But anyway, I will not bother you too much more with my begging and my pleading. I do want to say thank you, though. Thanks for listening.
Muchas gracias, baby.
I've been Russell Tyndall.
I've been DJ Natty P.
And this podcast was produced by Michael Hitchcock. I'm just going to go ahead and do the outro right now because I'm trying to keep it easy on the very first time we do this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Love you guys.
Party forever.